Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Today we have Rogue Trip. This is a National Geographic series uh, featuring Bob Woodruff. He's an ABC journalist who's been reporting from around the world in a lot of dangerous war zones for decades. And he, in 2006, he was in a tank and actually got hit with an explosion that caused him to have a severe brain injury, and it looked like it was going to pretty much take him out of that life completely at that point. But with the help of his kids and his family, he was able to recover from that injury and learn how to speak and read and communicate all over again. And he's looks like he's back 100%. But this series, which came out in 2020 this year, I imagine, I don't know if there's only 6 episodes of this. They're about 35 to 39 minutes long each. Um, Hopefully they got more episodes. What with the pandemic, probably really cut a lot things short, travel wise. But over these 6 episodes, they traveled. He and his son Mac, Bob and Mac, spend 6 episodes going to 6 different countries around the world. And I watched only 2 episodes. I watched the first and the last because they had the kind of the biggest contrast in cultures to me. They started in Colombia and they finished up in the Ukraine. And this is and in the last episode, his daughter Catherine joins the group. But this is kind of like a travelogue, tourism. They use certain official tourism channels. These are things that actually you could do if you went to these countries. A lot of these countries have suffered, obviously, Colombia and Ukraine. In the other ones, they go to Pakistan, Lebanon, Ethiopia, Papua New Guinea, and look at the back of my head, everybody. Yep, that's where they went. So, so yeah, they go to a number of different places, and they get in touch with the people. They work with a lot of the local tourism groups that show, at least in the episodes that I saw, an effort by the people in those cultures to change what was often seen as a cut off or uh, a downtrodden society due to war and conflict and a number of other things, and turn their history, their culture into something that can be explored. And tourism is a huge moneymaker. If you know Disney, uh, well, these places aren't exactly Disneyland, but they're not, certainly not even the Epcot Center either, with the countries. But it is definitely you get a peek at not just the tourist traps, but the areas in which these people thrive. Starting in Colombia, you get to see that they travel along the Amazon for a bit, which is still used for drug trafficking and things like that. But that Amazon is kind of a Wild West thing where a number of different countries, navies, and militaries all work together to help curb that uh, that business, an illicit business. And to be honest, for a very long time, a lot of the people who are working now in the tourism trade to show people what goes on there, they've pretty much grown up in the drug trade as well. A lot of the people that they met along the way, that Bob and Mac met along the way, grew up trafficking cocaine leaves and things like that. So yeah, it's still part of it, but it's something a lot of them are trying to move beyond and show some of the great beauty and the people, the lands, the creatures. Colombia has one of the most biodiverse cultures in all the world. In fact, probably the most biodiverse culture in all the world. You can There's like 4 million different types of insects just in there and just in Colombia, especially along the Amazon. Uh, there's It's astounding to look at. So you can see these two guys, father and son, bonding. There's maybe a little tension here and there, or at least that they referred to it. I didn't see it directly, but by the time the final episode came along, um, Mac kind of confessed to his sister that, yeah, we've kind of had our fights here and there, but it's all been pretty worked out. Yes, they're not alone. There's a huge camera crew and producer and assistants and things like that. So it's not like there's just two dudes in a camera running around a jungle or the Ukraine. Um, it is still a television production and professionally done. They do shoot a number of stuff, selfie hand cam every so often, but a lot of it is professionally shot with cameras. Mac is a photographer and taking pictures everywhere he can, and yeah, it's a unique perspective to see not just these areas, these lands, from a documentary perspective, but seeing it through the eyes of a father and son, a dad who's been everywhere, a dad who's seen it all and seen some pretty scary stuff, and seen the horrors of a lot of these lands, and to be able to come back to them or just revisit them in a time of peace, relative peace. Ukraine still's got problems, but and I'm sure Pakistan and Lebanon and all these other places still have their problems, but they are also great sources of incredible beauty. Um, when they went to the Ukraine, they got to go to Kiev, and they toured the underground. Not necessarily the sewers, well, sort of the sewers, but they also discovered a lot of the hidden away places that, by the way, you could probably tour as well, because there's like an underground tour, I think, with in that area, where you can find where people would store gas masks and other things that they needed to survive back in the Cold War era, thinking that at any moment the Soviet Union, when Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, and America, the United States, were going to go to war, nuclear missiles, and it's kind of scary to see that. They also moved on to, they visited Chernobyl, where the nuclear accident meltdown happened. And it's the kids are too young to remember that ever happening, because it happened in 1986. Yeah. Um, they visit not only the town Pripyat, I think, just north of the nuclear site, but they also actually visit the control room of the actual nuclear reactor site. The radiation has been pretty down compared to the way it used to be, spread for over 1,000 miles in some cases. But they also they took all the precautions they could just to make sure they didn't get any radiation, and they walked out pretty clean. But it was still a little bit nerve wracking. So yeah, there's a lot of things to see, a lot of things to do. They had lunch at the Chernobyl cafeteria, and also there's a big gift shop. So if you ever decide to go to Chernobyl, Kiev, when you can travel again, when people will allow Americans to go somewhere without infecting them, um, yeah, Kiev and Chernobyl, and also the Carpathian Mountains. Ugh, they they took a hot air balloon up and just surveyed the land. It's gorgeous. So yeah, if you want a different, slightly different take on the whole nature documentary thing, you want to see monkeys stealing stuff in Colombia, and busted out dead ghost town and outside of Chernobyl. This might be the documentary series for you. Plus, you get tons of dad jokes and a son who constantly picks on his dad, and a daughter who picks on both of them. So, yeah, I think it was a fun thing. So, yeah, hopefully there's more to come. I've seen 4 out of the 6 episodes, and it did not disappoint. So, yeah, highly recommend it. Check it out when you get a chance. That is Rogue Trip from the National Geographic people. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
336.
336. Oh, okay. Well, we're getting a movie, but it's animated, and it is Marvel. It is one of the sort of the Marvel the Next Generation type of series that introduces a number of new characters, usually teens, that are often sort of like the inheritors of the mantle of some of the heroes we know pretty well. This one is about a certain character called Ironheart, you might know, and this is Marvel Rising Heart of Iron. So she is pretty much as intelligent as Tony Stark, and she's built her own suit of armor, and Tony took notice. But I'm guessing Tony might show up. But for the most part, this is going to be about the gang, the Marvel Rising gang, like Squirrel Girl and Ms. Marvel and all of them meeting this new girl, I think. I already forgot her name. Why does my brain forget these things? I know this. I know it. I've already forgotten it. Dang it. Anyway, Marvel Rising Heart of Iron on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye.